everybody, it's Brett. It's Friday, February 15th. And I'm a happy carnivore. Just a happy carnivore. And I want to talk about several things today. Hello, Sin. It's good to see you, dear. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, I want to talk about, hi, it's good to see you. I want to talk to everybody about several things. First off, if you are on social media to promote carnivory and engage people who eat differently, be smart. I've observed this tactic in the last few days by the vegans who want to attack me and other carnivores for how we choose to eat. Now, let me get this out of the way. If you're happy and thriving as a vegan, God bless you. Good for you. None of my business. It's not my place to tell you what you should or should not eat. Equally, though, it's not your place to tell me what I should or should not eat. What I've been seeing is there's nothing in veganism that remotely interests me or that I find credible. I just be honest with you. I don't find any of it credible. I'm unconvincible in that regard. And I don't care if I don't go out of my way to make people angry, but, I'm not going to change the way I eat to satisfy somebody else's ideology. I'm never going to jeopardize my health for someone else's belief system. Not going to happen. Ever. And I'm not going to feel the least bit bad about it. Now, with that said, here's what I want to impart to everybody. If promoting carnivory as a healthy alternative means something to you, don't take yourself out of the game. What I see is that when vegans realize in these social media back and forth spats of various degrees, when they see that they're not convincing you and that they're never going to convince you, then they change tactics and they start the name calling and being hateful. There's a reason for that. They want us to get angry and say things in anger that might violate Twitter's terms of service, Instagrams, Periscopes, doesn't matter. That's what they're trying to do then. I know of a very nice person who was given a week-long Twitter ban because they lost their temper and told somebody things they shouldn't have told them. It does no good to attack them. We're not going to change their minds by being equally hateful in return. We have our personal experiences to share. That's why I truly believe that the Carnivore Cast episode link that I was blessed to be a part of is the greatest vegan repellent on planet Earth. Because I post that link and up comes a picture of me before and a picture of me now, or a recent picture of me as a healthy, depression-free, thankful carnivore. They can't argue with it. Their ideology cannot explain me. They just can't. So once they realize they can't explain me away, my favorite little trick of theirs is it's all a placebo. I'm just imagining that I'm not depressed anymore. Glad that's working for you. You know how absurd that is? Anyway, see, it makes me laugh. It doesn't make me angry. It makes me laugh because it's fun. It's hilarious. If you stop and look at the absurdity of it, it's hilarious. But don't let them antagonize you into violating any social media platform's rules. Because if you're banned for a week or a month or permanently, then your voice has been removed from the discussion completely. And that's just wrong when we do it to ourselves. There's nothing a vegan says in any interaction online that warrants us. And I say us, I'm not just talking about carnivores, I'm talking about the keto community, low carb, high fat. What does everybody primarily eat? Meat! Meat and animal fat. Yum! Now you keto people and low carb, high fat people, you eat some vegetables, and I'm not going to complain with that because like I said earlier, it's none of my business. I choose to eat meat and drink water. That is what works for me. So don't let your emotions get in the way of your time promoting carnivory online. I'm not saying don't engage people who disagree. Engage them intelligently. Try it. See how it goes. Because I want to hear and read about your stories, whether you're sharing them on Twitter, whether you're sharing them in the links at my YouTube page where I'm going to post, where I upload all my scopes to now. I want to read them. But if you're off the board, I won't ever be able to read them. And people who might find hope in your story wouldn't be able to read them. How horrible would that be? Now, I want to change subjects to something else. This has really been on my heart the last couple of days because I was blessed to be quasi between jobs. I go back to work a week from tomorrow. Yes. So I've had a lot of time to do more social media than I normally would. And I really enjoyed it because I've only been promoting carnivory. And I finally realized why. And I want to share this story with everybody because I think it's so important. You hear me talk about all the time. Share your story. Share your experience. Tell everybody about how you got to feel better. Here's why. About 2 months into my carnivorous journey, I'm not saying anything about it on Twitter to speak of at that point. Maybe I'm following folks and retweeting things, but I'm not. I'm learning. I know I don't know what I need to know. But I'm feeling great. The depression symptoms are gone. Day 23 into day 24, as I've described before. But in the second month, a lady who's a few years older than me, that I grew up with in the same community as her, she was diagnosed a few years ago with primary progressive multiple sclerosis. Her doctor told her that she could look forward to spending most of the rest of her life in a wheelchair. This woman contacted me after seeing some of my posts about living carnivorously. And she was desperate to learn about carnivory. So I shared what I knew and what I was doing, and I pointed her in the direction of the fine folks at Zeroing In on Health on Facebook, because that's where, you've got folks there who've been living carnivorously for 10 and 20 years and beyond, across all spectrums of life on Earth. Poor people, rich people, people in other countries, Asian countries, Australia, the UK, Europe, Indonesia, doesn't matter. They're everywhere. The whole world is represented in that group. There's like 26,000 members there. Anyway, this woman, 2 months into her experience, started losing symptoms. 4 months into her experience, all of her symptoms, she reported to me, were gone. All gone. all the symptoms, she was told her type of multiple sclerosis would never go into remission. Think about that for a minute. And I was completely ignorant about the symptoms of multiple sclerosis. I mean, it just wasn't something that I was aware of. And she started talking. Her first, well, how are you getting better? Can you tell me? Well, I stopped falling. The ringing in my ears went away. And then many, many more things after that. I mean, what a wonderful thing. Now, it wasn't me that made that happen. She made it happen by practicing carnivore, by eating meat and drinking water. Someone who had no hope, was desperate for anything, for any reason. I can't imagine living like that. What a horrible thought. But she's free of that nightmare because she's living carnivorously. Now, she's a very private somebody. I doubt we'll ever see her doing periscopes. And that's fine. She has other gifts that she can communicate her experience with. You don't have to make a big noise to share the goodness that you have to share. You don't have to be a loudmouth, bald guy, musician, who's not afraid to say anything to anybody if it's true. Anyway, those are some things I wanted to touch on today. I want to thank those of you. It's been a real thrill to turn this app on and to see 7 people viewed, 10 people viewed, and then we're picking up viewers on YouTube, and the response on Twitter has been good. I don't do this for numbers. But I'm like everybody else. It's nice when I see that people are watching and responding. Listen, and I'm going to say this at the end of every one of these. I don't care if people get bored or switch off or not, because I mean every word of it. If you've been following your doctor's orders for years, you've taken the medicines for years, you've gone to therapy, you've been a compliant patient, and you're not feeling like you ought to be feeling. You don't have the energy that you want to have. Doing little tasks just seems so insurmountable because you don't have the energy. And it's not because you're lazy or dooless. You don't understand it. You can't explain it. Maybe it's time to think differently and give a look at carnivore. Eating meat, drinking water, eating animal source foods only. What have you got to lose? Give it a 30-day trial. Go to Zeroing In on Health on Facebook and read all the information in their file section. Read the PDF version of Stephenson's Not by Bread Alone, The Fat of the Land. Amazing book. There are people there that will have answers to all your questions. Questions I don't have the answer to, because I only know the answers to the questions relevant to my situation. And I only push carnivore via my experience. Anyway, go to meatheals.com. Have a look around. Read the testimonials of people who were just as desperate as you are right now for an answer for their health problems. Have a blessed day. Eat some meat. We'll see you next time.